I'd probably put this on the same level as Bradley.
I don't know, because I really like that other building too that has the that you can get on the roof of the
side building.
Yeah, you can kind of see the little windows. I mean, it doesn't really have a ton of opportunity to see into the other building, but it does have
honestly,
some.
The whole outside kind of sucks of lumber.
It's not great. I mean, I don't know. I don't really mind it, but it's not great. I don't know if I'd rather fight at Alice or Allen's than lumber. Although I don't know if I'd rather fight at lumber over Bradley. Yeah, I guess I think I would. I think I'd rather fight lumber than Bradley, personally.
I don't think I would.
Really?
I think they're both kind of on the same like tier for me. Yeah, I feel like neither of them play really that well, and they're really hard to siege.
I guess I just like that lumber's all wood. Like I do find that we do manage to get picks and wall bangs and stuff like that there, whereas Bradley you really can't. That's like the only reason I think I like it a little bit better. And the area right outside the boss lair, I know it's like not great, but I do still think it's way better than Bradley. Bradley's like that whole outer area is really tough to work with.
I'm putting them on the same level, but I'm gonna put lumber to the left of Bradley.
Yeah, I'm gonna put.
I think I agree with what you're saying.
Yeah.
But to me, they're both kind of not really great.
I'm putting it at the very end of the tier, right above Bradley.
Yeah,
so I might move it down, but. All right,
Catfish, dude.
This is honestly, I was having a hard time with this one when I thought about it because I really like it.
I'm putting it as A.
Yeah. Okay.
Not S. It's definitely not an S tier.
No, absolutely not.
Because the side of Stillwater is kind of mid. The other side is fucking S tier out the ass, dude. Like the side with the slide door, like the crank door.
Love that side.
That side is so good. The woods there, the water, kind of dog shit.
Yeah.
Honestly, like 3/4 of the POI, kind of dog shit. The boss lair itself, dope. Love that boss lair.
Yeah.
The verticality, dope. Love that. Everything else is kind of shit. But that POI, there's something special about almost every fight we have there where it just feels. It feels like if we can control that area, we are so dominant, and we can like have a blast there with all the teams coming up.
And I don't feel like it's like necessarily that difficult to get to that side either. I mean, they do give you a lot of avenues to kind of approach from that way if you want to, with the tree lines and
to the tree line to like.
I mean, you can get over there if you want to.
The log stack, 100%.
I mean, I always just kind of go on if we're coming from. Stillwater, you can just kind of hang left a little, and then you can just go right, past that other building that's pretty close to the POI, and then.
Honestly, I love even camping in that boss lair. I feel like that boss lair is probably one of the best boss lairs in the game, because like being inside with all that like open area and just being able to like move around if like a nade comes in and like not be stuck somewhere. And then also like having the peak battle through the metal grate, either depending on which side you're on, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, that fight's fun either way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna put it in A.
Yeah, I think Catfish is great. I think they need to work on the Stillwater side for sure.
Yeah, I agree.
But
maybe cut off some lines of sight there and make it so that you can kind of get through. Like, I don't like that it's just a singular one-laned bridge that goes all the way over, and if you don't want to do that, you're pretty much just out in the woods, which is not really going to promote a whole lot of.
Or running through water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think they need to fix that.
But I think that boss lair is probably one of my favorites for sure.
All right, Chapel.
I'm going to also put this as an A tier.
Really?
Yeah. Well, okay. No, I'm not. I'm gonna put Chapel as a high B.
Okay.
Because I still think after the rework of the boss lair, it's still kind of ass.
Yeah, pushing those tunnels is really. I mean, you can't go down the one side that's kind of closer to Alice. You can't really go down either of those ramps or stairwells or whatever they are. I mean, that's not going to lead to anything good. You like have to kind of take over the building.
They definitely made it better though.
They did. No, they absolutely did, for sure. But even the fights out in those woods are really, you're pretty much just fighting in a dense forest across the board everywhere. I feel like those fights outside of it are pretty difficult. Not directly outside the building, but like outside the wall almost are hard.
Yeah, and I think they're fun though.
Yeah.
I love fighting at Chapel. The only time that it really is bad is I think like nighttime or like fog.
Fog, yeah, really hard.
Yeah. But like a clear day raid at Chapel is fucking, I love that shit, dude. The I feel like the new change that they made with like that little rotation around the stairwell and everything is kind of useless. I like that they added the new down, you know, stairwell on the back side.
Little building, yeah.
Yeah. I like that you can now jump down in that the one ladder room, because it used to be that long ladder that just ran down, but now they added that other spot that you don't take damage. I like it. We don't really get to siege it a whole lot, and we don't really try to siege it a whole lot, but I feel like we can siege that building a lot easier than a lot of other boss layers.
I don't know. I have a hard time getting in there. Like I just, if they
you
really
start
want
chucking nades down in the tunnel and just push directly after them, you can take that space pretty easily.
But the boss layer itself underneath is so kind of complicated and complex, and I mean, it's really, I don't feel like sieging that is very difficult, or is very easy.
Yeah.
Like the entrances to it aren't great, but then the boss layer itself, I mean, how do you clear that out?
I think that's why I'm kind of putting it as a B tier, because I feel like
Ironworks is an S tier.
There's definitely room for improvement.
Really, you think
like
so?
It more than Blanc, so that's why it almost went to an A tier for me.
I do like Ironworks a lot.
Yeah. And I feel like the aesthetics of that place are really great too.
I agree. I do like the vibe. But honestly, I was looking when I was making all these. I love what they did with like all of these POIs, even if I don't like them. Like they have created such like just interesting, very complex areas that all have their own unique like kind of theme, and I think it's awesome. Like even the ones I don't like are really interesting. Like even like Pelican Island Prison, I think that even just that picture of it, that the whole area, that looks awesome. I mean, that doesn't play great at all, but like, I think that
it's almost like an Alcatraz.
Yeah, it's like an Alcatraz. Scupper is really cool. There's not a single complex that kind of, you know, it has that theme where you've got these sunken I mean, that's awesome. Doesn't play great at all, but yeah, I think they did a really cool job. I don't know. Chapel is hard for me. I think I would rather go to Blanc than Chapel, personally. I have Blanc and Parish in the same. I know you don't. I would rather go to Parish than Chapel, I think.
Yeah, for me, it's like a high B, low A. Like, I'm putting it in a B because I think I'd rather go to Catfish over Chapel, but I definitely kind of like them equally.
Yeah. I do think Chapel is more fun than Allen's.
Yeah.
And Alice.
Yeah.
It's kind of the same as Lumber. Oh, I don't know about that. This is actually hard for me.
Wait, you said it's the same as Lumber?
I think it
So you're saying it's like a D tier?
Well, no,
where did you put
it's
Lumber?
Not. Lumber's in C. At the very end of C. It's kind of teetering on D. No, I think it's better than Lumber. I'm going to move Lumber down to Bradley's level like you did.
Yeah.
I'll put it in front of it. And then I think Chapel for me is going to go up, definitely above it. But I think I'd rather go to Blanc and Parish over Chapel, which I have at B. So I'm going to put Chapel in C.
All right.
It's at the front of my C.
CYPRUS.
Pelican is great. You think so? Great, like aesthetically, or you like fighting in it? Because I feel like it's a really difficult place to fight.
But I also don't like CYPRUS.
I don't like CYPRUS.
I like the roof. I think it's really cool. Like that whole big flat roof. I think that's dope. I like the two houses that kind of connect to it. But that boss lair is shit.
It's real bad.
The area around it is shit. Getting into that main fence is shit. When you're in the main fence, you have literally like nothing you can do other than try to get onto the roof.
Yeah.
I think I've said enough. I think it's fucking D tier max.
I can't.
Maybe even E tier.
Yeah, because I think I'd rather go to Lumber and Bradley over CYPRUS any day. For me.
Yeah, you know, yeah.
It's
kind of down there with Graves.
Yeah, I'm gonna put it in front of Graves and Lumber on E tier.
Yeah, that's a good call.
Hey, Thunder. What's this tier list for? This is all the Hunt Showdown compounds across all 3 maps. So every POI, we're kind of ranking them based on
Shipyard,
our personal favorites, but also just like how they operate and
in a lot of
how the layout.
Recently.
Yeah.
I think the POI is sick.
Yeah, I do too.
I think it plays fucking terribly.
Yeah.
Because of the big open fucking water area by like towards prison.
Yeah. Literally half of it is like totally unplayable. The prison side and then total opposite side is like just mountains way out there and
right. So you have like 2 places that you can be, in my opinion. Number 1, you can be at the shack that's on the fort side and play that roof, but you don't really have like a whole lot you can do from there.
Or you can play that big boat that's kind of broken down. Because I've played around that boat before.
Which one?
The one that you can see in the picture on the before you get to the main boss lair building.
Oh yeah, that's kind of what I meant, like that area,
that area,
right?
Yeah.
Like or you play the house in the back with the roof, and that's all you can really do. The other buildings are kind of useless. You can't wall bang for the most part, other than the door. I
kind of think
getting into the area where the ship is fucking difficult.
Really difficult
because of the mountains around it.
And you can't really peek from the right side of it because if people are at the White House, that's a really difficult fight.
Yeah, I almost put this as an F. Yeah, it's gonna be, which is my avoid at all costs. It's gonna be there because I'll go there, but I hate it. I'm miserable when I'm there.
I think it kind of lands in my
good.
I think it might land an E for me. Like I don't know. I would rather go to Graves over Shipyard, I think, for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd rather go to Lumber over Shipyard. I kind of feel like for me they're both on the same in terms of enjoyment. Like I don't really like either.
Yeah,
I almost feel a little safer sieging the exterior of Shipyard than I do Lumber. It's like a little safer.
I actually might just move Lumber down to avoid at all costs.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I don't think it belongs. Like it, looking at it like layout wise, it's just a mess.
Yeah,
I kind of feel like Shipyard belongs
I think Shipyard's
above that.
No, I don't think so.
Really?
I'm putting them both at avoid at all costs. Yeah.
I guess my thing is like I definitely, well, they kind of both suffer from similar problems. I feel like there's, areas that are really difficult to peak if you're defensively like in the boss layer because you've got the water and you've also got mainly the mountains are a problem. It's hard. That's really difficult to navigate. But I think, like at least you can play around Shipyard on one side of it, whereas I feel like Lumber you really can't. I mean, what side of it can you play relatively close to the boss layer without being like really in trouble?
Underneath is like the only thing which doesn't help you with the boss layer at all.
I mean, like I don't like the far outside part of Shipyard either. Like it's kind of difficult to do anything around there. But I just feel like Lumber's setup is drastically worse.
I think they're both horrible. I'm definitely putting them both at F/avoid at all costs.
Yeah, I'm gonna put Shipyard in front of Lumber at least for sure. And
yeah,
depending on what is how the rest of this lays out, we'll have to see what stuff gets moved. What do you think about is an A tier? Oh, an S tier? No. I don't know. We haven't got there yet. I have a couple preferences.
Love Darrow.
Yeah.
Not an S tier by any means.
Yeah, I think its exposure to the woods and the ridges on like really a couple sides of it make it a little difficult.
Yeah.
But it kind of promotes this like, people are kind of camping on the far side, but there's also not many places to peek if you're actually in the boss layer.
I don't know. I feel like if you're in the boss lair, you have a like side window if they're out in the courtyard, right? Like that metal window. You have the other metal window if they're out on the wood side. You have the upstairs where the bridge is that you can peek over into the other building, as well as you can peek out into the woods from that bridge.
It's a crouch peek though, which is a little hard.
Well, no, you can peek through they have like those the wood slats that you can see through.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
I got a pic from there the other day. You have the roof that you can easily rotate onto.
Yeah, that is really
fucking great. You can jump from that roof to the other
different roofs. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you have that other barn over there, which has a lot of nice cover down low that you can like peek into the boss lair. The wood side kind of sucks. The underground kind of sucks. But the underground is like, it is what it is. It's just like another way to approach, in my opinion.
Honestly, the woods aren't really that bad now that I'm thinking about it, because you just get on the roof if they're on the woods.
Well, no, going from the woods into the boss lair.
Oh yeah, that's tough.
Because you have that just wide open road with no cover at all to get to the, and then the only way to get over that fence is to jump over that ramp or to open the gate and run through. If they added more like jump spots at the fence, I think it would make it a better POI.
Yeah, I agree.
But I honestly, I think this is on like Chapel / Blanc level for me in terms of enjoyment. I'd actually put it below Chapel but above Blanc in like a B tier.
Yeah, mine's a tiny bit different than yours because I have Chapel in C and then my Blanc is in B.
Yeah.
So I think I would put Darrow in B.
Fantastic POI though.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna put it all the way at the top of my B. I think it's pretty fun.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. DAVANT
Ranch. Love it.
Yeah, I was gonna say I love this place. I think this place is awesome.
Spawn fights are dope. The fucking boss lair
is
dope.
Awesome. Boss lairs.
Dual boss lairs.
The boss lair feels good to fight in and around. Whether you're sieging it or defending it, it's fun for both sides.
Especially because there's two that are directly connected with a big connector room.
That's I kind of appreciate that there's two boss layers, because it just means you're not really sure what you're gonna get when you, just because it's, you know, you get to DAVANT doesn't mean your fight's gonna be the same. You might be having to siege a totally different building than you normally do.
And I love getting there and there being a team in the boss lair and a team in the other boss lair as well. Like having to like double siege that building is fucking dope. Outside area could use a little bit of work on the, obviously like the big area, like the big fucking corral.
There's not a whole lot of cover. I feel like
cover. Yeah, there's like a couple carts and stuff, but there's not like, I don't think there's enough in terms of like structure out there. I think if they added like a couple little buildings or something that you can get on the roof or whatever, I think those would be nice, or something that, you know, at least had a decent amount of cover. I'd probably put it.
I hope this makes a spooky sound and scares you. I'm so sorry. It didn't. It didn't. It was an awesome sound.
I'd put this as
and
an
you did
tier.
Great. But it didn't scare me. I love you. Thank you. I mean, it's definitely an A tier. I'm just trying to decide if I want to put it in S. I mean, it's certainly better than CATFISH, I think, for me.
I don't know that I'd put it as an S tier, because
I think there are places that are
the side that's the church side is like really bad, honestly.
Yeah,
like
that's
that
true.
whole hillside getting up there and like trying to take space from like the church side and establish dominance, and that POI is really hard from that side at all.
Yeah.
And nobody even really peeks that side usually. You know what I mean?
It really
like
can't.
It's not like you. Well, I mean, you can from the top of that other boss lair, right? The left boss lair, and then on the right boss lair, there are a couple windows, but nobody ever peeks it because nobody ever comes over there. Like everybody always fights on the back.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess it is kind of on the same level as CATFISH. It has kind of similar problems where, although CATFISH I do think is worse in terms of its approach. Like DAVANT has one side that's definitely kind of difficult, but CATFISH is kind of similar in the sense that
the whole thing is hard to approach.
Yeah.
CATFISH.
Yeah. I mean, I love the fights as much as I do DAVANT, but I do feel like CATFISH's kind of exterior is way more difficult. I mean, there's only one side of CATFISH that's really like awesome, and it's really good.
Yeah, but I think a lot of that like outweighs the rest of the issues for me, which is why it's an A. But I'm gonna put CATFISH just below DAVANT in A.
Me too. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, I think they're both really good, but I think DAVANT needs to be a little something done for the approach side from pitching or church, and there also needs to be a little more cover in the back. But I think it's still a great place.
First Testimonial Church. I love this place. Yeah, I'm putting it in S. Absolutely.
Immediate S. The only issue I have with First Testimonial Church is the outside area on the fishery side.
Okay.
With all those like gates.
Yeah.
I feel like the issue I have are the meatheads that spawn there.
Yeah, it's really difficult too.
Because it blocks that whole side off sometimes because they just keep fucking running back and forth through that area.
And that kennel, that is always the one we hate.
You can't see it to take it out. Yeah.
So it makes it difficult to. You're kind of stuck. You can't really go through there.
Well, it's both kennels actually. It's like
both of them.
Yeah, both of them are horrible. But I think it's still an S tier POI.
Yeah.
The boss layer inside is fucking sick.
Awesome.
The
Fun to fight.
rotations you can make in it are sick.
Yep. People
the
actually
outside
can
is
peek.
sick. Yeah. That big building that you can get on the one side is sick. Getting on top of the graves is sick. That little fucking peek angle that I get on that side door from the stairwell is sick. Like everything about that place is dope. And you don't feel oppressed from the outside at all whenever you're there. The only time you do is when you're over by the pavilion area and they're like the upper DeSalle, right?
Yeah, it's got a nice like kind of perimeter that is pretty isolated, and you can have some pretty good fights without feeling like you're super exposed from the woods or wherever.
A lot of entrances from outside as well to get into the main boss lair or like main compound area. That is one of the best POIs in the game. 100%.
And I love those fights out in those areas too, like equally as much as I do like the fights that are in the actual church. Like
100%.
Fighting on any side of that is really fun.
Yeah, the only part that's a little rough is where I killed that guy who was camping us, where that bridge is that crosses over to Quarry.
Yeah,
because it's a little open there.
Yeah, that side's a tiny bit open, but the rest is like very isolated, like and cut off. So maybe it kind of makes sense that one side's a little bit more dangerous.
There's not a lot I would change other than like being able to kill the kennels from like a better angle.
Maybe more ways to get into that fishery side, or as you kind of wrap around towards upper DeSalle as well, like that. Yeah. That whole side, because you're right, the meatheads are always blocking off your like only gates that you can even get in, or there's an immolator or something. Yeah. So I don't know what they could do to make that a little easier to get in, but that's a difficult area to approach. From just outside.
Definitely one of the best in the game.
Hands
down. Hands down. Yeah. Fishery. B. Maybe C. I'm thinking.
I think it's C. It's got very similar problems to some of these other ones. Actually, I feel like it kind of falls into the same trap that like Lumber and Bradley do. Where it's it's only got like kind of one functional side, and even that's very kind of
it's going to D, and the reason I say that is there's just too much PvE done.
There's so much PvE. Yeah, fucking water on the other side. That's
meatheads on the low side every time.
Yeah, how you can't even use the bottom.
Yeah, it's D.
Yeah, I agree.
End of discussion.
I don't dislike it, but it is not great.
It needs a lot of TLC.
I think I would put. Where do you put it in D though? What do you have in your D?
I put it at the end of D because I'd rather fight Bradley and Lumber over Fishery, but I do like fighting Fishery.
No, I agree.
I'd rather fight it than Graves and Huts and Shipyard and Lumber, but
definitely.
like I think it's definitely.
Yep.
It's not good. It's not great.
I know you hate this place. I will say, before we even get into its layout or anything like that, I do think in terms of how it's designed is very cool. I like that it's got this kind of castle-y perimeter. You know, you can get on the roofs of the buildings.
The ramparts around the whole thing.
Yeah, it's
all
a pretty cool.
Kind of connected and like agreed.
And it's even got that little exterior circle of huts and things that people end up getting in fights at, and I think that's kind of interesting.
I'm putting it at avoid at all costs, but high avoid at all costs, because I think there is potential for some fun fights there, but most of our fights are actually aids.
Do you think it's better than lumber though?
Yes. No.
Really, you don't think so? Then Ash Creek lumber.
Yeah, no. Actually, it's going to the bottom of avoid at all costs now that I think about it. Yeah, because I'd still rather fight Shipyard and lumber over Bolden.
Oh, I don't know if I would. I think I'd rather fight Shipyard than Bolden, but I don't think I'd rather fight at lumber. I think lumber's huge open.
Yeah, you really hate lumber, though.
I just really don't think it's designed in a way that promotes like a good playing experience.
Yeah. So here's a really, really big problem I have with Bolden. The whole side that is on the Seven Sisters side, you cannot rotate on those ramparts whatsoever because you have like a little tiny shack in the corner and then everything is wide fucking open. You have that. I honestly really like.
It's like that on both sides, I think.
Well, no.
One shack and it's open, though. Oh, no, that's not true.
But it has the other roof that you can get on. Yeah, like all of that is safe-ish that you can peek from, but then on the opposite side it is just one big rampart that goes around the whole thing that you can't do anything from other than that one building that has the elevator. You can't do anything around that whole other side. It is wide open, so that whole side is safe in that boss lair for people.
Yeah, that's true.
It is horrible. And even down below there's nowhere to rotate or anything. You're just in a big open courtyard.
Yeah that's fair.
Inside of the boss lair is kind of okay, in my opinion.
I like the inside.
Yeah, I feel like it plays pretty well. There's a lot of open area that people can't just shotgun cam.
Yeah.
But the outside is a literal fucking dumpster fire, in my opinion. The whole thing. I think it is. I think it looks aesthetically dope, but it plays fucking terrible, and I will never go there unless it is the only POI on the map that has the fucking bounty or something.
Yeah. I guess that's fair. I think the only reason I like it better than lumber is because I think you can get into a lot of kind of mid-range fights at Bolden, whereas lumber, you're really in an advantage if you have long ammo. You can be so far away and really be very operational, whereas Bolden, you can't really. It's definitely not a comfortable area to fight in, but I can use it Vetterly and compete.
You can't really do much with like a sniper in Bolden either.
No, you can't, which I like. You know, it's
yeah, but I don't like, because if we're running like Spark Sniper, because we want to chill on that loadout, we can't do much there at all. You almost that place to me almost promotes like extract camping.
Yeah.
I
mean, it's definitely going in F, no question. I think for me, I'm putting it above lumber just because I really think that it. Well, I don't know. It's pretty close. I almost don't know if it matters which one goes first or second.
They're both terrible.
They're both pretty bad, yeah.
My God, my PP hard.
Yeah, you're gonna put Fort Ness. I'll be right back. Give me like 1 minute, and then we'll continue. Alright, I'm back. Fastest poop of my life.
What the fuck?
All right,
this is awkward.
Fort.
Yeah, I already put it in S tier, and I don't even need to explain it.
Okay.
Okay, I will though. Fort has been some of the most fun fights I've ever had in Hunt from the start of playing Hunt Showdown. I love the verticality of Fort. They made it even better recently with their map changes, with that second level and the rotations there.
Yes.
The outside area is so much fun to fight, like from the walls to the boss lair. The down area is fun to fight. The tunnel is okay to fight. Could